You are back to the Brian Thomas podcast in my sexy voice again. Let me be serious for a second because this episode gets right to my heart because Carishma is my heart. I've known this girl for almost, oh my God, I think 15 years now. I started out as a choreographer, director, and we've just become the best of friends over this time span. She's really incredible, and she's trusted me. And I can't wait to share her story with you. So here we go. Let's go.
So I would like to start this interview by telling us, actually, the story of how your family came here in the US.
So I come from a family of immigrants. My family is from India, they're Hindu. And during the partition of India in 1947, there was a divide between what's now Pakistan, used to be part of India. And my family, my grandfather and his family were living in what's now Pakistan. And you had to either, the Muslims were taking over that part of India and making it Pakistan. And you either had to convert to being Muslim, leave everything behind, or be killed. So my grandfather and his family left everything, and he was living in a refugee camp. And he won a green card in a lottery to come to the US by a ship. So he came here and he landed in a very small town in New Jersey, a poor neighborhood called Union City, New Jersey. He started cleaning tables when he got here, and that's where he raised his family.
Oh, wow. That's All right, so as a little girl, what was your biggest dream for yourself?
So I grew up doing performances as a child for my parents. So they would work during the day and I would rehearse a show. And then when they came home, I would have my uncle, my mom's brother, who was living with us at the time, announce me onto my stage, which was just the area in between the kitchen and the dining table. And I'd come out from a different room and I'd sing and dance to, at the time, it was a lot of Madonna's Immaculate Collection. It was a lot of Vogue and Like a Prayer. But I was always doing these shows. I was really good friends with my neighbor. This is like I was 7 or 8 years old, and we would come up with these musicals and these like original musicals and put them on for my parents and her parents. And so I was always finding a way to perform. It just came naturally.
Oh, that's great. So do you have other women that inspires you growing up, and who are they and what and why?
I was surrounded by strong women growing up, and all of them inspired me. There was my mom, of course, is an extremely strong woman. And there was also 2 women that helped raise myself and my brother and sister. And one of them actually helped raise my dad and his 3 brothers and then helped raise us. So they're really my grandmothers. And their stories of how they came to the US, because they're immigrants as well, and what they went through to get here, it was always inspiring. And my mom coming here as an immigrant as well and building with my dad from nothing and from scratch, that was inspiring as well.
So as an artist and as a female entrepreneur, have you ever experienced all this misogyny against you?
I've definitely experienced misogyny against myself as a woman for being strong. So women usually get a bad rap for knowing what they want, being in charge, and being assertive. And men who behave the same way are looked at in a positive way for being a boss. But if you're a woman, then you're just seen as a bitch. And I really believe that needs to change because it's still an issue. And we claim that we have equality now between men and women. We still don't really. And I've experienced that personally. And I think we really need to change the story and the perception that if a woman is strong, we should see her as fierce. And that should be something that we should look up to and be inspired by in a positive way, not like, oh, she's a bitch and put her down. We have enough to fight for as women as it is, and we don't need other women or anyone else making that harder. And so I think it's really important to see strong women as empowered and to look up to them and admire them.
Like you.
Thank you.
There you go. So, how was it growing up being of South Asian descent here in the US? Racism, discrimination, have you ever experienced that? Or you've witnessed your family actually being discriminated upon for being South Asian?
I've 100% experienced discrimination for being of Indian, South Asian descent. I can specifically remember one incident that stands out to me was after the attacks on 9/11. We have a family office. My family has a family business, and someone threw a brick with a note on it through my family office's window and said, like, a hate note, like, die, we're gonna come kill you and whatever, because they thought that we were Muslim terrorists. And first of all, you can't generalize that all Muslims are terrorists. But second of all, you know, we're not even Muslim, we're Hindu. And as I said before, Hindus and Muslims have traditionally or historically had war with each other. So it's really just ignorant and racist and discrimination to say, like, to be hating someone, say, I'm going to kill you because you're Indian, they think you're a terrorist. So that's one incident that really sticks out to me in my life.
So, representation matters now more than ever. In the American music business, kind of like related to segueing to like the whole representation being South Asian. You don't see a lot of female South Asian superstars or pop star in the music industry.
In the US.
In the US. The question is, have you ever tried to mask your heritage or who you really are just to fit the mold of how a pop star should look like here?
When I was 13, I started getting the leads in school musicals and stuff like that. And so I thought, you know, I should probably take some proper voice lessons so I sound as good as I can. And I went to this voice teacher and she said, you know, you really shouldn't be an actress, you should be a singer because there's no parts for Indian girls in movies. And at the time, I thought about it, and at the time, it was true. I never saw Indian women in movies. And that's really why I made the decision to pursue singing instead of acting. I always wanted to pursue acting from the time I was little. I could always do all three. I was good at acting, singing, and dancing. But I really loved acting the most. And I pursued singing and went full force down that path because I thought I'll be more accepted being an Indian in the music field, potentially, and then I can cross over into acting later after I'm accepted as being an Indian. So when I was doing my first music video for Glow in the Dark, for example, it was always very important for me to not look Indian. It was important for me to be ethnically ambiguous so I would be accepted. And now more than ever, I'm proud to be Indian, and I want to be, you know, someone that young Indian girls can look up to and be inspired by and feel empowered by what makes them different instead of ashamed in some way or nervous that they won't be accepted for it.
So what are the steps that you're doing right now to fully represent who you are? Like, is it like, usually it can be physical or like hair, makeup, whatever. Like, what are the things that you're doing nowadays to actually fully represent yourself and be an example to all those little girls, Indian little girls?
So today, more than ever, I've really accepted who I am, and I'm proud of my heritage and where I'm from and the story of my family and how we got here. And I am out with my story, with my background, and with my skincare, and talking about, you know, my skin type and the way that I wear my hair is natural now. I used to straighten it all the time. Now I wear it curly. So I don't know. I guess that's
Those nuances,
part of an
yeah.
answer.
Oh, definitely.
Also in my choreography, I've made it a point to pull out some Indian-inspired dance moves because I want to keep my heritage and where I'm from alive.
Oh, I like that. Keep it alive. And I feel like those small things can actually help break the glass ceiling as far as like the South Asian performers and artists here in the US. And thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a good representation to those, to the little kids. So, I've heard that your last album was created out of a bad breakup. I heard from Lil Birdie. And very healing for you. So why haven't you released it? Is it because of confidence or still really haven't healed from that breakup yet?
The album was created and born from a place of being lost and finding myself again. It was a very cathartic journey and a healing process. I really poured my heart and soul into the album. It was a culmination of adversity in the music business and a personal relationship that completely defeated me. I was engaged and I was madly in love. We both were. And I didn't even want to be alive anymore. I just felt like there was no reason to even be alive. So when I decided to go back out to LA and work on the album, it was really coming from a place of pain, from finding out how to love myself again without needing someone else's love or that love to love me. And what that meant for myself, for self-love, for self-care, for my future, and how I could maybe help touch others and share that love and with the world and help other people feel good the way it did for me.
That's good. And I actually love that Bring Me a Higher Love music video. By the way, it's amazing. It's actually,
Thank you.
now I understand it, where it came from. It's like the whole storytelling, and I feel like the visual representation and the way you actually portrayed yourself is so true and authentic.
Thank you.
And I love it. It's actually, I downloaded it right away. So
Oh,
see?
thank you.
It's really good. I love that.
Thank you.
So having control of our lives and everything that surrounds us is important. However, it doesn't happen all the time because the only constant here in this world is change. So that said, does being from a business background where you can usually control the final product conflicts with your artistry and getting things done? Like the whole control.
I think having a business background as well as being an artist has actually helped me instead of hindered me in a lot of ways, because not only do I understand what it means to be an artist and where that comes from, and it's all heart and soul, but I understand that marketing of that art is still really important, because without marketing and reaching people, no one's ever going to see or hear that art. So if you really want to touch lives in a big way, you have to be able to market it and get it out in a way where you can actually reach them. So I think in that way, marketing and having a marketing and business background has really helped me as an artist. The thing that has hindered me, though, is not having a business background. It's being a perfectionist. And as Churchill said, perfectionism is the enemy of progress. So one thing that I've battled with most of my life, and I still am constantly trying to find the right balance, is having it be good enough, and being okay with that, so that you can still make progress with having it be good enough.
That's good. So how is it like letting go?
Amen. Sorry, go ahead. No, I just like praise baby Jesus. That was so honest. I love that.
Can you do this on your teeth? I can see the pink lipstick there.
Where?
Oh shoot, do I need to do the last one again?
No.
Okay.
There's just now. So how does it feel to ever let go of control? How do you feel when you're in that moment of like, oh, I just let go of my
Or
control.
tell us an example of when you were rehearsing in the studio and the lights out. Like, tell
Oh
us
my
an
God,
example.
that
Oh,
was
I wanna hear
amazing.
that. Okay, what is that story
How it
about?
felt.
Letting go of control.
Okay, so when we were rehearsing for this video that we unfortunately were never able to put out, it was heavily choreographed, and Brian and I were doing rehearsals, and I am such a perfectionist. So every move, like every finger had to be like in the right place. Like if it was supposed to be like this, it had to be like that. Like if it was supposed to be like that, like everything had to be perfect. And one day in rehearsal, he said to me, "You know what? We're going to rehearse in pitch black darkness." And he shut off all the lights. I could see nothing. And we did a rehearsal in the dark, and it was so freeing to be able to let go that much and just feel the music and feel your body moving without seeing it, to make sure that it had to be perfect. Because, and the lesson that he taught me was, as long as it feels good, then it's right and it's perfect. And that's what matters most, especially with art.
So you felt like letting go of your control kind of freed you at that moment.
It was extremely freeing.
And
Yeah.
something that you can always go back to, okay, this is how it feels when sometimes you just have to let go of control.
Yeah, that's definitely a great lesson of how great it feels when you let go of, when you're able to finally let go of control.
That's good. Like that's great.
I love
Well,
that.
that's good to
I
see.
do that with makeup.
That's a good anecdote.
I close my eyes and just visualize.
Yes.
It's right in front of me.
Right. So BT, the director of this docuseries, whom you actually mentioned to me that he have known you for a long time and think of you as his daughter. He even mentioned that you do have a heart of gold and absolutely love your new music you created in collab with Radio. So what can you say about your relationship with the director of this docuseries, BT, Brian Thomas?
um,
Rich is looking at you right now, director.
Watch your left hand, Brian.
Oh.
Brian Thomas is one of my favorite human souls on the planet. I feel like we were meant to meet each other. The universe brought us together in this lifetime to share this artistic journey and to see each other and be there for each other through all of its ups and downs. He is like a second father to me. He really understands my artistic side in a way that most people don't. He understands me in a way that most people don't. And he's one of the people that I'm closest to in my life, and I'm forever grateful and blessed to have him.
Aw, that's so nice.
That's lovely.
Okay, well, that's it. All right, I love this part of the question. Have you heard of rapid fire questions? So you need to answer it quickly. It's just gonna be quick. You just have to don't even think about it. Just answer it.
Oh,
Is
great.
it a one-word thing?
Yeah, it's a one-word thing. It's a
Oh,
one-word
one-word
answer.
thing?
Yeah, one-word
Oh,
answer.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
one-word answer. So
But then I can't repeat the question, or should I repeat the
No.
question?
We'll hear you. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
okay, you ready?
yeah.
What is your biggest fear?
Not reaching my fullest potential.
Last song you downloaded?
I can't remember a song I downloaded.
Invisibility or super strength?
What?
Invisibility or super strength?
Super strength.
Favorite song?
Oh my God, there's so many. What a Wonderful World.
Favorite movie?
Pretty Woman.
I kind of want to ask
No,
that.
keep going rapid fire.
I want to ask
like
that
this because
question.
you can't think about
Favorite
it.
music artist?
Stevie Wonder.
Inspirational quote you live by? I know this is going to be one.
Inspirational code I live by. Who benefits from your self-doubt?
Fill in the blank. Carishma is?
Fierce.
Good job. Now I want to know why Pretty Woman and you love it. Why? Why Pretty Woman and Pretty Woman?
I love romantic comedies. I'm a hopeless romantic, and Julia Roberts was my favorite actress growing up. She was a huge inspiration to me. And when I watched her win an Oscar, I said, ugh, I envisioned myself winning one day, and it was because of her, seeing her do it.
There you go. We kind of have the same smile.
I've been told that.
You do.
A laugh and a smile.
So now we're talking about your romantic. You're romantic at heart. So let's talk about family. Do you want to have one?
I do want to have a family one day. I want to have a husband who I'm madly in love with, and that we have kids that we make from love. And I have visions of like little kids, 2 little kids running into our room in the morning, jumping in bed, and then we all cuddle in bed together.
Where do you see you living?
I don't know.
That's very romantic. So, talking about kids, what advice would you like to say to the 13-year-old Carishma at that time in that car with your mom, if she is sitting right in front of you right now?
The advice I would give to my little self today would be, don't doubt yourself. Trust your instincts. Always believe in yourself. And you'll be able to accomplish everything that you set out for.
That's nice. One last question. What legacy do you want to be remembered for?
I'd like to be remembered for being a strong Indian woman and being confident in that. To help other women especially be confident, to touch their lives somehow through art, and to give back by also keeping my background and my heritage alive at the same time.
That gave me goosebumps.
And world peace. Bring me a higher love. Just so you know, that's Carishma's song, her remake of the song that I got to direct. So check that out as well. I'm glad you checked out the uncut interview with Carishma. Subscribe, follow us, call me, bring me a cocktail. I'm ready to go.